Hi there, in this one we're going to be taking a look at the Chinese pinpointer, the Tx-2003. It goes by various names, bounty hunter, all different kinds. It's just a generic Chinese pinpointer really. Now you're lucky if when you've got a coin it'll detect it from about here. Most of the time you need to pretty much be touching it, which is rather useless, but in here I'm going to show you a way of playing with the sensitivity to actually make it work a bit better than what it usually does out of the box. So we'll take it step by step. Now on this one here, when you pop the bottom cap off, please note that there is a couple of location pegs up in this side and this side, and they correlate to two little grooves missing in the cap, just so you know you have it the right way, because if not, I've heard people complaining the cap just pops off by itself as if it's on the wrong way round. Right, now inside you have the battery wire. Now if you look down, it's not really good at showing you just now, but if you look down inside here you'll find two chunks of plastic, one over at this side down here and one over at this side down here. Can't miss them, big chunks. What you want to do is have long nose pliers. You could use other things, but this was by far the easiest thing to use. Now I put long nose pliers down and kind of just pop it away from the wall. That's one. Be careful not to tug the wire, but you'll see what I mean by the plastic clip down inside. There we go, that's my second one. Now this is the clip that came out. These are the two plastic bits I was telling you about. These were the two bits down the bottom of the hole. You just pinch onto these, pop them back and try and tug them out a little bit. It comes loose, and do note there's a slit here on this one, and this is so that when it slides down inside, the wire for your battery doesn't get chopped. So be careful with that, because if you stick it the wrong way around you could slice your wire off. Yeah, just take note to what side your wire's coming from. Mine's is coming from more this side, so I would just have it so that it's there. If yours is sitting more over this side, then just locate it so it fits. If you see this, the shape of it, it's more flattened at the top and rounded at the bottom. It's the same with this piece. So that's the way you want it to go. Right, keep that aside. Now the next part is this part here. Take this off. Back in a minute. Hey guys, we're back again, and this is your on-off button. What you want to do is you want to just like leave it to one side, so mine's is left it off, and then you know where it goes back on a lot easier. And mine's doesn't want to come off too easy, so again I'll just use the pliers just to pinch a hold of it, pop it off. Set this over here. Now you will notice there was some masking tape on here, helps the knob bite onto it. Now you want to come down here to the other little bolt that's under here. Now to save for time I'm going to pause just now, but all we've got to do is undo this bolt here. Right, well my bolt's undone. It's all the way up. It doesn't seem to want to come back any further because of the masking tape, but I'm just going to hold on to the handle like so and push it backwards through. Now the bolt falls off, bolt's here, and this handset, if you just wiggle, everything comes out in one. Now this is lying loose, and I will state now that when it goes back together, this rail on the side, the edge of the plastic, actually bites into a groove down inside here. See if we can show it. I don't know if you see it, but just down here it's a little ledge, and on the other side as well. It's just a little rail for it to run through. Right, so we'll set this down now, and we'll get configuring. I'll show you right now that under here, this little thing here, this is a potentiometer, and this is what you're going to turn in order to change the strength or make it work. And you don't want anything that's going to crush that up. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver and just lightly turn on it. It doesn't need turned hard at all, so be very gentle with it. I'll be back in a minute and I'll get a battery put into this. I'll show you what to do. Back in 2 seconds. Right guys, battery's hooked up. Now it's time to show. Now mind your ears when this goes on. All the way up till it goes off. Bring it back until it's just cutting off, and we get this amazing detection power of wow. So you see that, that's, if you're lucky, that's about 6mm if you are lucky. So what we are going to do, bring it down, move this over. I'm going to show you that that's tuned in to spot on. Right now I'm going to take this tip and I'm going to turn it this way, clockwise, the tiniest little amount. Right, and we are going to test and see. Oh, you see that? We've trebled the distance in that. Let's see if we can get it to go a little bit further. Now you've seen what I've done. It's this little potentiometer. And just give it a tiny lean on it. I'll tune it back in. Slightly less that time. So we'll come back a little here. It's good enough for me. So you'll see that's definitely, we were getting a few millimeters before, and that's multiplied the distance by about 500%. Sorry for the loud noise there. So I'll zoom in a bit. So all you're basically doing is detuning it. Detune it, you can come all the way to the end and then back just a hair, and you can also turn until you get a tone. And we'll back out and see how good that does. Same bolt. Rubbish. So then it off, and then back this off until it cuts off. So leave the actual thing way, and turn it down by that, and we'll see what we got. Non-existent, see? So we turn it back up, back it off a tiny little bit. Just not doing a good job of turning this at the moment. Oh, hold on. Well guys, so now for your distance, now you know what to mess about with. You can see the distance you can gain. Much better machine. Sorry for the squealing. But yeah, it's just a potentiometer. So you can start off by tuning all the way up to full, backing it off maybe half a turn or so, but give it a chunk. And then when you turn this potentiometer up until it starts making a beep, then you can grab this part again and detune it until it stops beeping, and you should be mess around with it up there. You'll see what I mean by turning it up. Like if you tune your button all the way, like when you turn it on it squeals, and as you turn it up it cuts off. Right, you'll be sitting at that point. When you want to tweak this, you'll turn this until the beep comes on again, and then you'll detune it by this part. And you just keep going and going using the same thing that you've got, and trying to get closer and closer. Get a pencil if you need to draw a line where you're going to have the end of this. Try and get it closer. Draw a new line, see if you can get it further out and where's best. And that's it guys. But easy enough to tune and to put back together. That's not a big problem at all. You want to make sure that your washer, that you have the little washer on first before you put your nut over the top of the little knob on the outside once you've repacked it. So you slide the circuit board in first, and then once that's in place, I'll show you in a minute. Okay guys, and just to show you that the circuit board has a couple of rails that it sits in that I showed you previously, and up at the top there is also some. Now I just grab a hold of it with the long nose pliers and feed it in. There's nothing to it. And then from here you want to just pretty much force everything down. You want to push on the circuit board to make sure it's down, and then push on the black buzzer box, make sure that's down. Remember, when you're locating your tab, you want the round edge to be at the round side and the square edge to the squared edge of this. Now you just move your wire over, slot it in, push it down into place. It's a bit tricky. You just hold on to the wire while pushing it down until you feel it tug a bit. And I don't think you really want to tug any more than that. And then just push it home until the clips at the side pop into place. That's you done. Battery goes on. And once everything's clicked, drop the battery in. Remember, when you stick this on, there's a back side with the notches cut out, and there's notches on the inside walls on the round side, and it just pops back on. Now up here we had the washer. This is what just stops everything from getting jammed up. So just dump the washer on there. Your bolt, put it on, force it down, spin it up. This doesn't have to be Superman tight as long as it's jammed on there. Now if you did make sure that it's fully switched off anti-clockwise, you'll notice there's two little wedge shapes missing out the top. This is where this chunk on the button goes from the start all the way around to the finish, so it's easy enough to line up. And it just slots straight on there, and boom, you're connected. Remember, it was millimeters before. Where are we? Good stuff. One modified machine. Now it's 10 times better than it used to be. Anyway, this was just for a request to do a video, so anybody looking to upgrade this thing can at least give this a try first before they throw it away. Thank you very much. Bye.